Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this video, I will introduce the new Anura3D interface and the improvements that make geotechnical modeling through Anura3D more efficient. The new Anura3D interface introduces several key improvements. No manual modifications of CPS or GOM files are needed during calculation. Automated launching of consecutive calculation stages from GID are allowed. Better output control, allowing user to adjust frequency and select specific variable for visualization in GID and ParaView. This also helps us reduce the file size. These improvements eliminate repetitive manual tasks, streamline workflow, and enhances efficiency in simulation setup and post-processing. This data tree demonstrates the organization. General data is shared across all calculation stages. Stage-specific data appears only where needed. This structure ensures that only relevant parameters are displayed at each stage. This enhances usability and reduces unnecessary input in later stages. The new interface introduces stage-specific data management. Stage 0 includes essential inputs like initial velocity, boundary conditions, and contact formulation. The update material option is not available in stage 0, but can be modified in later stages. Each stage is structured to build on previous input, reducing redundancy. This systematic approach improves clarity and simplifies stage-based calculation. Boundary conditions and features can now be activated and deactivated per stage. Instead of modifying them in calculation data, user assign boundary condition within each stage. When a condition is assigned, the flag is automatically activated in the CPS file. To deactivate a feature, simply unassign it in that stage. Graph visualization functionality allows user to add an initial water table for more accurate visualization of hydrological condition. Define prescribed velocity and hydraulic head changes over time with better visualization. These options give user more control over time-dependent processes. The new output system includes user-defined output variable instead of exporting all data by default. The ability to select specific elements for output in PAR or PAR files. Material point ID or MPID specification is no longer required in pre-processing. For material point output in PAR file, user can select elements for material point output at stage 0. The time interval for material point output can now be defined at each stage. A continuation of the previous slide, material point selection is only required in stage 0. User can now define time interval for material point output separately at each stage. This provides more flexibility and better file management. A clearer input file structure is shown here. GOM file at respectively different stages shows geometry of different stages. CPS file shows the calculation parameter for each stage. OPD file, which is output data file, shows output data related to each stage. User can now adjust the output frequency to control file size. Select specific output variable instead of exporting everything, and manage ParaView and GID output more efficiently. Launching simulation has been improved. Consecutive calculation stages can be launched automatically from GID. The Stages Manager allows user to select specific stages of computation. An error file .err is generated at the end of each load step for debugging. If ERR file contains message, it means it has an issue. If ERR file is empty, no errors are encountered, which simplifies troubleshooting and debugging of the problem. For post-processing, if GID is selected, users can toggle between pre- and post-processing with a single button. No additional file conversions are required. This makes result visualization more intuitive and efficient. The new version organizes file as follows. Anura3D file A3D is the project file. CPS and GOM file are the input data file. OPD is the output data file. This makes file management clearer and structured. Now I will show you Anura3D 2025 version using Shallow Foundation. This case can also be found in the tutorial manual. On the left side of taskbar, these are the different features which would help you to use and create model. And Anura3D also allows you to view data trees, which can be always toggled off through this icon. There are also various icons available. Then to go to the general data, you see different details regarding unit, gravity data, problem dimension, MPM discretization type, and post-processing visualizing software. There will be some default value always be available on this feature. Next, the construction stages. In this case, we can set the material properties, material point specification, initial condition, fixities. For this case of shallow foundation, we are applying solid traction over the top of foundation and surcharge over the soil. You can always set the contact properties and different construction stages. But in this case, we are also applying moving mesh, which will be combination of compressing mesh and moving mesh. Then we have to set different calculation data, which are shown here. After setting the calculation data, we can go to the result output. And this 2025 version allows you to control the writing. If you don't want to write some specific output, you can always set it to 0, which would save computational time. Then material point output. You can always select material point, number of material points, and time between material outputs. To set that, you first need to create mesh. Then go and select the element that you want the output to be written. You can always select number output material points you want. Time between output points. Once this is done, press escape and go to Anura3D. You can see different features here. Calculate Stages Manager, View Process Info. Simply click Calculate. Now the simulation is being run. You can always turn it off. And you can also see the process while it's running, clicking View Process Info. Simply, if your stages have multiple stages, you can always control it through Stages Manager. Once the calculation is done, to see the output in GID, click this icon. This allows you to GID Post-Processing View. You can click on this icon, Result Window. Then, to see the animation, you can go to the Contour field. You can also see which output you want to see, scalar, tensor, vector. For this case, I'm selecting vector, displacement, solid, y direction. To see the animation, you can click on this icon. There are some other controls available on GID post-processing which can be explored. Go to the previous menu, click on this icon again. This was all about the Anura3D 2025 interface and its details. Thank you so much for listening.